before anyone says anything, like, I don't even know if this is a video that I should make, but I know what I look for, and I know that I'm just basically trying to have like a girl chat, but like online. So here's a girl chat about how I literally like manifested my boyfriend. And like, listen, you guys can say whatever you want to say. If you don't believe in manifestation, whatever, it actually doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me whether or not I believe in manifestation, because the boy is here, so it kind of doesn't matter. Listen, I like to chat, and like I haven't been chatting, and I think that it's like actually making my brain rot away. Basically, yeah, I need to run my mouth. Like, that's what I had this channel for. And the other day I was on my YouTube studio and I saw that we hit 800 subscribers, which is funny because this feels like a forgotten channel. Like, I just post on here like once in a fucking blue moon, and I'm just like, take it or leave it. At the end of the day, like, that's what you're getting today. But anyway, so today I wanted to have a little chat. You know, I wanted it to be like we're like a sleepover and we're talking about like our little experiences, our love life, blah 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 blah. So as you can see, the title, we're talking about how I manifest my wattpad boyfriend. And listen, the way I say wattpad boyfriend is because I know a lot of other young women grew up online in the era of wattpad. And listen, at the time, going to an all-girls school and having your parents, I wasn't having any interactions with boys whatsoever until I got to sixth form. I was scared of boys, still kind of am. So the way that I would be interacting is reading wattpad, going on Tumblr, reading fics. Listen, it set my standards high, and I won. So all you hoes that want to be like, lower your standards, it's not real. Because obviously, you know, the stories that we're reading are about men written by women, but actually, like, they do exist. I'm going to tell you how. So obviously, let's get this disclaimer out here. Obviously, no relationship is perfect, but mine is. And it all started because I was in my, like, goofy era of just doing things, just trying things for fun. So I don't remember who it was initially, but I remember hearing about a woman who wrote down a list of all the traits that she wanted in her future partner. So it was like as details as she wanted it, blah 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 blah. But she wrote that down, and then the person that did come along eventually in the future literally ticked off everything on the list. Now me, listen, I love a bit of astrology, a little bit of tarot cards. I was like, what? Why not stop on the little manifestation route? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with a bit of like thinking, first of all? So basically, I just wanted to like preface all of this. So before my current boyfriend, this is my first boyfriend. I'd never had a relationship before this. I had like something encounters with people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've lived a little bit, but like not that much. And so my expectations of love were really high. It was like my expectations of love were either wattpad stuff, rom-coms, whatever. Then I had my first kiss, which I feel like I've spoken about on here, but anyway, low-key traumatic, but not really. It genuinely wasn't a bad time, but it came out of nowhere, shook me, couldn't watch rom-coms for a while. And then at some point I was like, you know what, my goalpost now is to have a Jane the Virgin kiss. And the reason I say Jane the Virgin is because all the kisses that I used to see on TV, which is really awkward, when I was in my phase of not being able to watch rom-coms and things, it made me cringe so hard. But like Jane the Virgin or Gina, what's her name? Gina Rodriguez. Listen, we don't really necessarily like Gina Rodriguez over here, but she knows how to do a good like on-screen kiss. It does make me want to throw up, and I was like, that is exactly like how I need it to be. Being like an introvert, homebody, a Cancer, there's all the different things that lead to me living mostly in my head, not in real life. And so at some point you do kind of think like, is any of this even gonna be real? I don't know. But yeah, I had done the whole thing of being on Hinge, being on Tinder. I will say Hinge felt like the better option. Dating scene is hell. It's not giving. It's trash. And I know that no one on there is serious, because I was one of the unserious people that was on the dating apps, that it just wasn't giving. And so I know that some people do meet their significant others on dating apps, but at some point I was just like, I can't do it. So throughout this whole thing, I had been friends with my boyfriend for like a year or so, and I'm talking like regular friends. Like for most of the time anyway, there wasn't any like weird tension. It was That's my best friend, which was so strange for me coming from an all-girls school, only having close girlfriends. I was like, what is going on here? Best friend, talk to each other all the time. And listen, I wasn't thinking anything of it until like later on. Yeah, that's where I was at. So the lore of this whole thing is that at some point in like, I don't remember what date exactly the note says. I'm gonna put like a little screenshot, but it was like years ago. I wrote this detailed ass list, and then I literally put it into my journal. And this is like pages, okay? Pages because my handwriting's all fucked up, but it is pages. And it's detailed. It's things like, let me read some of them out. So this is like, you know, like the manifestation girlies, like you write and you say what you're grateful for, and you'll say, I literally detailed, okay. So I said, Dear universe, I'm so thankful and blessed to have this amazing boy in my life. From the moment I met him, I knew he'd be someone special to me. I was so comfortable in myself and happy being alone that I didn't expect to meet him, but I'm so glad that I did. He is goofy, loves to make stupid jokes. He has really good hygiene. And the bare minimum, some of this is bare minimum. He is not on that toxic masculinity bullshit and is in touch with his emotions. He cares about real world issues and is educated on important topics. Like I'm not playing. I was writing. Even things like, okay, he plays guitar. Sometimes he plays and I sing. He dresses well. He makes me laugh. So thoughtful, remembers little things that I say. When he meets the family, they love him to pieces. Like, the thing is, it's not even funny. Like, when I tell you now, it's so strange to read this all out because I was writing this like doing too much. I was writing unnecessary details and obviously some necessary details. But the things that I genuinely valued in a relationship, or when I thought about my ideal person, that's what I wrote down. I literally wrote everything. I didn't skip anything. I put every single little detail, and I even put like I printed out little pictures because I did like different pages for different topics basically. But when I thought about like my future romantic partner, like this is what I put in. Listen, I had B and Soren in there, and listen, they broke up, but like you get the vibe. Listen, I do things all the time. Like my journal, there's a lot going in here, and this is my old journal. I like to write things, I like to imagine things, like daydreaming is my full-time job. So when I wrote all this down, like I wasn't thinking, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna write this down and then my mind's gonna appear, da, da, da. But the thing is, he actually kind of didn't, because I wrote this down years ago. So by that point as well, because I have a really shit memory, forgot about it. I wasn't thinking about it. It's not something I was actively trying to like keep track of, or like where is this person, blah blah blah. So years go by, I'm struggling out here in the ghetto. So I wasn't thinking anything. I was like, this is not the vibe. Like I'm just gonna have to eventually one day find a person when I'm like 45. Do you know what I mean? I was even genuinely writing in my notes like, worst case scenario, like I'd never meet anyone. Is it gonna be that serious? Like I'll survive, blah blah blah. And so now, literally years down the line, I meet my current boyfriend, but like in a completely friendly way. And this is so important and like intrinsic to our relationship. And like obviously, you know, people have different ideas on whether or not you can date your friends. Me, I'm all for it. Date your friends. I don't know why I'm doing this, but date your friends, okay? And the reason I say that, obviously don't just date everyone in your friend group, but I mean, listen, for me anyway, because I immediately get stressed, I overthink things. I cannot just start a relationship on like a fully romantic front. It just won't happen. I'm gonna start running away 2 seconds into it. But when you end up dating someone that you've been friends with, it's a completely different dynamic. Like, this is someone that you've been so close to anyway, in like a regular way where there's no romantic feelings involved, where you know that person wants to be around you with no ulterior motive. Like, you know that you have things in common without like romance clouding your vision. You know that you get on really well without all that clouding your vision. And then when you do eventually get into a relationship, there's more than just a relationship. Even when certain aspects struggle, you always have that foundation of having such a strong friendship. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't be having all of these experiences if I didn't just like Oh, live a little. And just like be human and vulnerable and real with my feelings, you know? Occasionally, what I noticed is that I would come back to my list very occasionally. If I was like, my vision was getting clouded and there was like a new person that was like intriguing me, I would look at my list and I would see, does this person have this? Does this person have that? Does this person have that? And not even in like a really shallow way, just genuinely. Sometimes you can be like, ooh, this person is cute. They're rizzing you up, but like, is there anything to back of that rizz? Do you know what I mean? And I think it like kept me on track. I feel like sometimes you get sent people to test if you're actually really ready for the right person for you. And then you just have to stand your ground. I stood my ground. And now when I look back at this list, it feels like I'm just writing like a journal entry about what my daily life looks like. Like every single thing on that list, he ticks off. There's even more that he does that I didn't ask for, if that makes sense. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm here to say that regardless of whether you believe in manifesting or not, the point is that whatever standards you have, stick to them. Because at the end of the day, the love that I can't remember who it was that said this, but the love that you are searching for is 100% out there because you exist. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's always like a balance in energy, and like there's always people that can be compatible with you. You just have to like live your life and let them come into your life, and you know, keep the people that don't bring you goodness and joy and love, and just push them away. Because at the end of the day, that's not what you need. You don't need the negativity, not today. I think one of the key things here is that I was never putting any pressure on it. Like, I just left it. Don't get me wrong, I was still Delulu. Like, when I very first made this list, I was very much still reading freaking fan fictions on Tumblr. Like, I'm not out here pretending that I was just like zen and I was like, yeah, like I'm just gonna let whatever come to me, whatever. You still have to go out and live your life. Do you know what I mean? But you know what your intentions are, and you have that in your mind, and it like guides how you move through life anyway. So I feel like you know what you won't settle for, so the person that you want will eventually come in. I think one of the things that I want to mention is that there's a lot of things with like the law of attraction where it's like you always have to be on a high vibration to attract high vibrational things, and you have to always be happy, and you have to be in your affirmations, and you have to be in self-love. And there's this thing of like, if you don't love yourself, how can anyone else love you, blah blah blah. My opinion on that, my stance on that, and my experience with that is that at the end of the day, you don't need to be perfect to get into a relationship or to be worthy of love or to receive love. I think that you can receive love at whatever stage that you're at. I know that I'm still on my self-love journey, very much so working on that, and I very much so struggle with my mental health, and I'm just dealing with a lot of things. But it doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of love or that I have to wait until I'm fixed in order to be lovable. This is all true. However, I will say that if you are in a position where you are struggling with your mental health, or you know, there's where your self-love is in this like self-hating place, you have to acknowledge that it's not necessarily that you aren't lovable, but it's very easy from that standpoint to be in your self-destructive era, your self-sabotage era, and push people away. I know for me, like, I'm very much so like I will be fine on my own because I've been on my own a lot all my life. And so in that case, because I'm fine on my own, my brain thinks that that's just how I can be or should be. But at the end of the day, you being fine doesn't mean that you should be on your own. It doesn't mean that that's your peak and that's where you will thrive. I think that you should always be ready to accept love, and I know that it's difficult when you don't feel that you deserve that love, but I think being self-aware also about your patterns and your thoughts, because at the end of the day, your thoughts aren't necessarily you. Like, your brain can be telling you all the time that you're not worthy of love and that you're going to ruin this relationship and you don't deserve this, blah 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 blah. But you don't have to listen to that. You don't have to act on that. You don't have to let that consume you. Don't get me wrong, I struggle with this all the time. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to be in this relationship, or that I'm supposed to leave this relationship and just wait till I'm better. Thought about it, I have. But a lot of the time, the growth that you can do on your own, you can do so much more in a relationship, purely because it forces you to be so vulnerable with another person. Before that, who was I being vulnerable with? Nobody. And when you're vulnerable and you have to expose like your like most hidden parts of yourself, like there's a lot of growth that happens there, because you begin to just own it. And I think there's something about letting someone else love you in a vulnerable position that allows you to see the parts of yourself that you wanted to hide, that you didn't want to love, and see that they are worth loving. And so I think that there's a journey to be had in like every aspect of life. And if you feel like you're not really in your self-love era, it doesn't mean that you aren't worthy of love and that no one will love you, or that no one should love you. You can be loved at any point in your life. What you have to know is that you have to be able to accept that love, which is hard. And it's that whole thing of what he was saying in the pics of being a wallflower. We accept the love that we think we deserve. He's so right. Is that a quote from somewhere else and he quoted that in the book? I don't care. Pics of Being a Wallflower is my classic. Whatever he was quoting, doesn't matter. It's about working on yourself still through that relationship, and not just relying on someone else's love to feed you. You know, you have to let that love encourage you to love yourself. Not to be all deep, do you know what I mean? But like, I don't know, I just think it's important to say. But yeah, I don't know, this is probably a really silly video to make, and like I feel like the girlies that get it will get it, and the ones that don't. And I may be overthinking this again, like I overthink everything. But yeah, I just thought, why not? Like, it's a fun video. Like, I'm chatting, I'm spilling the tea. This is what I've got for you. I hope that you enjoy this. And I don't know, like, I'm in my social era, so my Instagram will be down below. Follow me, chat to me. I feel like I should be posting TikToks, because like that's the era that we're in if I want to be making content. But I just post silliness on there. Like occasionally I'll post a TikTok, but I'm not as chatty. Like I feel like I'm too scared to chat on TikTok. But anyway, I hope that this was a nice video, and I hope that wasn't too like, I don't know, weird, like robotic. Like I haven't made a chatty video in a while. Like I don't know how to chat. I'll see you when I see you. There's actually no point me saying when I'm gonna upload again, because you know that I struggle. We know this. But I'm working my way back. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a new girl. I've got cowboy boots now. Like, let me know if you guys have any like interesting stories, or like you want to chat and like be besties like on my Instagram. You know where I'm at. Anyway, bye bye. I'm a YouTube queen again. I'm in my YouTube era again. I've got so much energy and I don't know why.